Okay, welcome to question and answer about food, because there are many, many questions and ideas and diets, and they're getting more and more. There's not getting less. But I tell you simply, no diet is good, you know. Why? Because anything that's called a diet is something on a one or two roads, and we don't want one or two roads. We want all the roads to go. We want to have an understanding, not of whether this or that is good, but we have an understanding whether what we do can be balanced in which way. That's the most important thing, because I tell you what, nothing out there in our environment and nothing in us, in our internal body environment, there is no element that is single-handed traveling around. You know why? Because all those ones would be immediately called a free radical. They are doing damage. So everything in nature is always going into a combination. A calcium does not travel on its own alone. It's a calcium chloride, right? And all those kalium, natrium, chlorides, all the chlorides. So chloride is the binding factor. Even if we have salt water, we have chlorides in it. The chlorine separated from it becomes poison, but that makes the thing stable. So the whole universe is in a stable position. And everything out there in the nature is immediately balancing out. If we have a high altitude, temperature, high pressure, somewhere we have a low pressure, what will happen? They go as long together till they're balanced. So it's always, the nature is always trying to make a balance. And the biggest balance maker is our body itself, right? But the more we disregard that, what the capacity in us is inbuilt, the more we disregard it, the more and faster we will pay for it. Because what it is, the longer you are able to maintain a balanced way in your body, the longer your energy level is balanced out. The need for division of a body cell is going down, is not needed. So if you want to have longevity, that's only by one way, to secure that the environment of one single body cell is so perfect that this cell says, wow, fine, everything is beautiful here, we don't have to do anything. And especially what? We do not have to divide ourselves, let's say, to make a copy. Because whenever we made a copy, an old cell has to die. The DNA gets shorter, which is called the telomeres process. And whenever it's shorter, and every division shorter and shorter, the fastest division is made when we have a cancer disease, right? Then it goes really into a high speed, and that's why cancer is ending up. In fact, we could live a long, long time. We know now we could live hundreds of years. A body cell can do that. And besides that, there was a doctor in France. His name is Alexis Carrel. And in 1927, he finished something because he did something very clever. He took from a chicken heart, he took a chicken, its heart, and put it in a solution. The copy of the body, so only the solution. And you know, the heart was beating, and the heart didn't stop beating because it was in the solution. The same study was made in the 1990s for 10 years in Chicago with over 10,000 volunteer probants, and they took out from each of these patients a little bit more of their intestines. And these intestines walls were put into a solution equal to our body solution. And you know what? The intestines didn't even know they were not anymore in your body. So it could live on its own, just needed their solution. So when you are able now to give the environment, which is the solution we live in, and we call this intra or extra body cellular fluids. And these fluids, if they are not maintained properly from outside, around the body cell, then the inside body cell is able to cope to make good for that what you did wrong outside. We know this. And here the medicine says, well, that's okay, you do what you want, body can do it anyhow. That's not true, because if we are not taking care of our external body fluids, which is the environment for a healthy cell, right? And the body has to make that up all the time, cell division goes faster and faster and faster. And the faster cell division happens, the faster you die, but before you die, you are very long time sick. Pharmacy and doctors say we are very good at making life, to prolong life, to have a long life. That's fine, I believe that, I know they can do that, but that's not my issue. The issue is, can you live healthy? And now comes something. If you are able to live healthy, you live anyhow as long as God has given you, right? So, and probably most of the time He has given you quite a long time to live, provided you're healthy. So we don't need a long life, unhealthy, with a lot of pains and pills and unhappiness, because happiness is nothing else depending as on a healthy fitness body. So again, environment, inside, outside, this is the most things. And so when people now come, and they come to your question, what is this one diet you said here?
You can comment on this paleo diet.
Oh, the famous paleo diet. When I've heard...
Red and white meat too.
Yeah. When I heard the first time of this American new diet, Paleo diet, which is coming from the, paleontology, that was when the dinosaurs were living, and I was thinking, actually, I thought America had already hit the top, and now they came with something better. I mean, so stupid, as for me, unbelievable, that we go now, for example, around with a club, and when we think that is good for me, I club that one, or maybe I club her, right, and get her home, right, for dinner. How stupid can it be? We are men, all men, mankind, men and women, are not made in our body, and our teeth reveal that very, very openly. 6/7 of our teeth are absolutely those for vegetable eaters, and the 7/7 is also only cutters. So we have not one teeth that shows us and explains us that we anywhere near carnivore. So teeth reveal that. We have exactly the same teeth as horses and the cows have. The only way what we don't have is we don't have 5 stomachs. Right? So 5 stomachs is a bit different. Now, our intestines is 7 meters long, yeah? And from carnivores, it's much, much shorter because they don't need that long process. And when we eat, for example, a lot of vegetables and grains, everything we eat doesn't matter. That will be dissolved by the saliva through chewing. But chewing requires time. And when you have no time, you swallow. So because people do not chew, they don't use saliva for fermentation, right? Which is the first 50% of digestive good order. Now they don't do it, and now they go into paleo, that means eat meat. And when you eat meat, you know what? Proteins, animal proteins, do not need saliva. They are not being digested by saliva, so you don't need. That's why all the animals can swallow their food, because they have a very short tract and they have only one thing to digest that, and that is a strong gallbladder, because that pushes out and dismantles the fats in it. So we are not animals, but if people think they're animals, well, then they have to stick to the paleo diet, maybe, and develop, that what they had long time ago. So the most stupid thing on this planet is really paleo. Another thing is low carb, high carb. Is that good? Is that bad? It's the same question, same stupid question. Again, I have to look what kind of carb, What kind of carbohydrates? And can I eat a little meat? Yes, you can eat a little meat, provided it is in balance to all the other 5 elements, to something green and to some grains and this and that. This is not the question. I'm not telling people they have to eat only meat or only this. I tell them, you know what? You're the highest evolved being on this universe, right? And you are the only one who can eat literally everything, provided you know the alchemistry of how to make it outside before you eat it, and then get it in such a form that it becomes medicine. Because one thing is I have learned, and I've seen this over my 11 years being in Asia, and especially with the Tibetans. Not the Tibetans now, they know nothing anymore, right? That was the old Tibetans. Very difficult diseases were coming there, and within weeks, where people were sick for years and years in either Americans, Australians, or Europeans, and there were thousands, 100,000s were coming to India, many of them sick, including me. And I learned how fast I could cure myself. And I remember when my teacher said to me, listen, the only thing you have to do is you have to look that what you eat is balanced, it's wide range of it, and not only what you like, but learn to like everything is, and go to an old Ayurvedic restaurant. They know how to do it. 50 years ago, they knew perfectly about it, and whenever I went into one of these restaurants all over India, my digestive was fantastic. I felt good. I had no problem. I was not tired. I was not feeling cold, nothing. Even when I ate this food, I went out into 45 centigrades, which is very hot. I couldn't stand the heat. Did I eat something else? I immediately felt my whole day was gone. I felt really, really bad. And then I went back to the Ayurvedic beautiful restaurant, and everything was fine again. So by that way, over years, I learned really to understand how important the impact is of a balanced food. And again, I said, the more you balance the food from outside and make it perfect for your body cell, the environment, the happier and the easier you go along. And then you can eat anything. And in my seminars, I even all the women, they come to me and want to slim down. I tell them, no diet, eat balanced, do a few things, and you know what? And eat the double amount as you used to eat before. You know why? Because despite the fact that they eat the double amount, they slim down. And you have seen this. This was this one woman here, and she lost 30 kilos. Yeah, it took her 6 months. I said, there's nothing fast here. But if 6 months is fast, then do it. Right now is a couple of years gone, and she slimmed down. And she understands it's not by diet, it's by intelligence. But intelligence is something that's not really anymore in the West, if it comes to food. Right. Anything else?
So you mean the low carb, high carb works if you know which carbs you use?
Well, the low carb and the high carb is not just carb, it is what kind of a carbohydrate is it? Is it a long chain, a short chain? Yeah. For example, fruit sugar is more difficult to be broken down because of the sugar molecules than a simple white sugar. Simple white sugar is much easier in the body to be broken, to absorb, and be taken by the body. Fruit sugars, sort of so healthy, they are not as healthy because the fruit sugar is more complex and needs another enzyme to be broken down. So it's not like one sugar. No, we have hundreds of different sugar molecules, and each different sugar molecule needs another enzyme. Our pancreas produces 3,000 enzymes simultaneously every day in the amount of 1.5 liters of secretion into the body. This is the finest and strongest medicine ever. No laboratory ever will be able to copy that effort and intelligence than the pancreas can do. So we are very, very complicated inside, and we can do a lot of nonsense to our body, but only for a limited time. So if you want to have a long life, and even with 70 and 80, yeah, feel like you are just 25 and have a body like that, then you have to do that, right? That's simple as that. But when I look at all the people in the West, what they do to their body, well, I feel great pity for them. And the unfortunate thing is, there are many, many people nowadays in America, in the West, in Canada, in Europe, they want to wake up, but there's no answer. Every answer is a new answer, another diet, and every diet that comes up is more stupid than the other one. So it's, I mean, the end of stupidity, as I see it, is not yet there. But there we go with the diet, because that is something it required understanding. 5 Element is a teaching. And then many people say, well, that's too complicated, how can I do this? It's not true. You have to have only the understanding, because I travel all around the planet, and I can help myself, because I take something here and there and balance it, but I know I eat with my brain, and I still find my ways. It's not that we in the West completely lost. If we were living in Africa or Afghanistan, you get nothing, right? Those people are, well, they're off the road. They are bad, yeah, on their way where they live. But we have it. But now what we do is, we know nothing, we go into the supermarkets. Supermarkets? This is superfood, yeah, and this is super kill. So, to know what food means and this and that, that's something else. Once you understood it, you're completely free, you forget all that, what you've learned, because it's a natural balance. It's the same, for example, when you learn driving. You learn driving, you take the first and the second and the third and the fourth gear, and then back and reverse and everything. And you have to think about the gears. I tell you what, when you know driving, you don't think anymore which gear you take. You do it automatically. The same is with food. And all the people who come to me, they say, wow, it was a bit complicated at the beginning, but when we got into it, then all of a sudden we felt, well, as we did it forever. And then you can go about your life. I mean, I go to restaurants. I've been in restaurants in Toronto with you, and with other, no problem. So, but I know what I choose, and I know what I eat, and I know to ask the waiter what to bring me. And if he doesn't have it, I'll ask him, "Man, please make it." And so, no problem. And if he doesn't have it, well, then I go home and had it a little later. Right, okay. Anything more?
What about raw food? Some people are eating very clean vegetarian, but they're literally not, they're eating it raw, in the raw form.
There are so-called raw food eaters. Yes. In Germany, in Europe, especially in Germany, a lot of them. But I tell you what, I have never ever met a real 100% raw food eater. They eat 1 or twice a day, have a salad of raw food, and that's it. What they do not tell you is that they eat something else as well, because when they eat a chocolate, a cake, a bread, that doesn't count because you haven't seen it, right? So you cannot live on raw food unless you know how to do that. And now it comes something. In raw food, if you eat beans raw, you will die. You can't, right? So what they actually have to do is they have to go into sprouting business, because all beans, when they're sprouted, you can eat them as a salad raw, and then you have all the essential amino acids in it, but then you have to add oil to it. But here we go. You know what? When they eat sprouts, then they take 3 of them, like little seeds, and think, oh, I've done something very good and healthy. No, you have to eat full sprouted business. That is raw food, and that is intelligent, and that you can do. Hulda Clark, she was doing that. She was a chemistry. She was fantastic at that, and she was actually the one and only that brought this intelligence onto this planet. And she was banned and kicked out, and they are now and forbidden to do something like that. The most sensible, intelligent food she ever created. But she was on the sprouting business. She said sprouting, green leafy vegetables, and fermentation. She knew it all. So why is it that that is forgotten, yeah? And everybody goes now eating raw and eating blunt and nothing anymore? Nothing, there's nothing on it. And when the same is with fruit, the fruitarians, right? I mean, you eat fruits, there's nothing in it. They say, for example, an apple is very rich, has a lot of proteins. Yeah, sure, if the worm is in, then there's plenty of proteins. The minerals are only there if you eat the little stem of the apple. That's plenty of minerals. Yeah? Calcium in the shell, yes, the poisonous calcium from the pharmacy, which is there on the shell. And you know what? Here in Europe, I know I'm in Europe, every country. And North Italy, this is the country around Milan, yeah, where the most beautiful sun temperature is. They have huge amount fields, countries, mountains full of apple plantations. Yeah, so and you know what? I've done seminars there. I don't do it anymore because when I go there, they spray like mad. They're all spraying their apple, their fruits, everything is sprayed like mad. This whole planet is mad. Yeah? And where is it coming from and what is it they spray onto it? Yeah, Monsanto. So, and that's full of poison. So what you want to do with fruits? And then fruit, you eat them. Fruit have a lot of sugar, which is not so easy to be broken down. It doesn't have any minerals. It doesn't have any alkalinity. It's completely acid, right? And when you eat it, in the winter, it makes you freeze and cold. But you know, many, many millions of people eat fruits because they've been told fruits is very healthy and this is fine, but they have bad digestive orders. They have no temperature. They're always freezing, but they go on the fruit. So they come to me and say, listen, you know what, just try something. Eat instead of fruit, my steamed vegetables, marinate them, some herbs on them. They love it immediately. They say, wow, this is really tasty. And I say, try that for 2 or 3 weeks, and then you will see you're not freezing anymore. Leave your fruits away. You can eat fruits in the summer when it's cold, when it's hot outside, then eat them, fine. But not in the winter, and don't eat fruits because they're healthy. Eat fruits because they're part of the life. They're not forbidden, yeah, but they're not the health alone. Anyway, anything that you do on your own, on one path, is going wrong. That's narrow-minded and stupid. So 5 element is the widest and most intelligent thing, and that is why so many people are reluctant to go into it, because you know why? Oh, I have to learn that. I want to have it easy. I'm so emotional. I eat only some fruits and this and that. But fruits do not cure you. And here again, the most belief is that a lot of vitamin C is in the fruit. No, a kale. 100-gram kale and 100-gram apple. The kale has 2,000 times more vitamin C in it. So if we talk about vitamin C, eat kale or eat green leafy vegetables. That's in it. And they have also, you know, chlorophyll. The apple doesn't have chlorophyll, it has sugar. You see, we have to always make a comparison to what is in it and what's really beneficial for your body. But a fruit is only beneficial for your body if you don't eat it. And it started with the fruit, yeah, Adam and Eve, right? So the apple went wrong, and the apple did the whole thing here, start the whole, you know, blues, right? So leave the apple out, otherwise we go back and start the same number again. We are much more evolved beings than that. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Ja.